Alright, King Fight News. Miguel Cotto looked excellent in there as he takes out Daniel Geale in four rounds. The Aussie really looked, he looked okay for the first 3 rounds, but just out of his element, against a guy as skilled as Miguel Cotto. He didn't have any advantages in there. He really didn't, except for size, which isn't really an advantage if you don't know how to use it. And Daniel Geale was, boxing on the outside, boxing with Miguel Cotto at his own range. So it was just really a matter of time to me. The way he looked at the weigh-in, he definitely looked like he could get KO'd early just by the way, he just looked so drained, and he came in so, he rehydrated, 25 pounds over, the HBO mentioned that he came in at 180 on the unofficial scale, so that kind of vast rehydration can really affect your stamina, and it could affect your chin too. And man, it showed up big time. Miguel Cotto lands a perfect left hook, wipes out Geale. He came in with a disadvantage, and it was going to be really hard for him to get his hand raised, considering Cotto had CANELO really agreed to. And, that's what's going down next. They're already hyping it up. It's Cotto versus CANELO in September, and that's going to be an excellent, excellent matchup. It's really the next big rivalry of Mexico versus Puerto Rico since, and correct me if I'm wrong, but since, in terms of a big mega showdown, this is the biggest fight since De La Hoya Trinidad. So that means a heck of a lot in terms of boxing history, and in terms of these two guys' legacy. It's a legacy fight. Both of them are at that level where they're on the top of boxing in terms of popularity. Because Mayweather's on another level, and then there's guys like Pacquiao, Cotto, CANELO. Really, that's how it is. And finally, these two guys are being matched up, and it's about time for these two guys to fight. So let's get this one over with. When it comes down to fucking fights like this, I don't know, man. I don't know. The fans will really get so personal, and they just don't want to admit defeat. But boxing forces you to do that at some point. I'm sure there's a lot of Pacquiao fans that saw Manny Pacquiao clearly losing that fight, and they just had to give respect where credit is due. And I hope I hope we don't have a similar situation with Cotto CANELO. I'm tired of these fucking fans just not being able to accept the victor post fight, and I think that's really being looked down upon in the boxing community, and we just gotta accept these winners as they are. Fucking Robert Guerrero won a bullshit decision earlier this afternoon, but at the end of the day, that's a close fight. And you have to understand that close fights can go either way. And hopefully, close or not, Cotto CANELO is always entertaining. That's always going to be a great fight. So it's going down. Shout out to Geale. He showed up, got KO'd. I think that was expected by, most real keen observers. I definitely saw this happening. And I can show you my bet slips, man. I won money off this shit, so I'm in a good mood. King Fight News, Miguel Cotto, excellent KO.